Welcome to Here's How We Get There. It's the daily show filled with conversations about business and mental health in a down-to-earth style with real-world language. Now let's dive in with your co-hosts, Kenneth Shark Kinney and Trey Tucker.
All right, Shark. Everybody knows by now that the Google employees who tried to protest or who did protest against Google's involvement with Israel have now been fired. So, the manager who made that decision to fire those employees, did they make the right call?
Damn right they did. I think way too often, most companies get too worried with a lot of the brand washing they do that they're catering too much to them like children, and they're adults. They're responsible adults. And you kind of have to break off Google as a separate type of company, though. Google's a massive company, tens of thousands of employees. If this is a local business of 50 people or 20, you're not putting up with that mess. You're getting rid of them. But they did this with Google, and this kind of stuff gets a lot of attention. If they'd done it at Facebook or X or any of those, we would have seen it all over the news. But a lot of times employees forget that we're still there to serve that company. It is not simply a platform. And I am all for people having those opinions and voicing them in the right way. And I get that they want to make a stance, and God bless them for making a stance. Let them do it the right way. But trying to take over a company, and it's not because I'm a big Google fan. I am not at all. But I do know that in most circumstances, this would never get the attention. They're doing it just to cause a stink. I doubt that very many of them were in the kind of roles where anybody was severely affected. And I think that's something that we all have to learn. We may feel like superheroes in our jobs, but they can replace you in almost any job in that size company, unless they were the architect of the algorithm itself. No. But you can't. What Google did correctly is they addressed it quickly. They didn't take 6 months, let this play out on TVs where they try to, wash it over with a bunch of silly interviews and try to look, how did they vet it through their PR team and their attorneys and their internal communication staff and agencies. No, they just got rid of them. So again, it's not even a stance as to whether or not you agree with their stance on Israel and Palestine, everything else. It's just a matter of business. What do you think?
Absolutely. It's a matter of employee conduct and doing things the right way. You can have whatever opinion you want to have, but if you don't communicate your opinion in a way that's helpful to the company that sends you a paycheck, then that company has every right and should get rid of you, because at that point you really are no longer working in the company's best interest. I mean, the phrase "don't bite the hand that feeds you" comes to mind here. And it's baffling to me how somebody can come to the conclusion that, yeah, it's going to be fine if I publicly protest the very company that's giving me my paycheck. I just don't know how that computes as something that they think, yeah, this is going to go well for me. Maybe they've seen other companies, like you've said, let it play out so long and try to win the battle of public opinion and try to kowtow to whatever the different quote unquote protected classes are. Maybe they saw other companies that have done that and they assumed Google would do it. But now I think Google is one of the examples recently where you see the tide starting to turn, where common sense behavior is starting to win the day and nonsensical behavior is actually starting to get some consequences.
Well, I want to piggyback on that. I don't think they ever mentally got to that place. I think the issue is that too many of us in all forms of our lives make it all about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
This is a selfish move, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
They may have firmly believed they were doing it for the right reasons, and I don't judge them for that. But in this setting, when you're working for someone else, you're working for them. They're not working for you. And when you take out the politics of it or the war aspect, which is tough to do just by nature of what the argument is, it's hard to disagree with what the leaders at Google did. So you can Google that if you don't agree with me.
Thank you for joining Shark and Trey on the Here's How We Get There show. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show and visit here'showwegetthere.com. That's here'showwegetthere.com.